Welcome to Comfort Habit number 2. My name is Echo Fan Grey Wolf, and I am going to explain pretendians to you now. Alright? So, there are many different types of pretendians. The pretendian war initially started before COVID, where young individuals who are of European descent with no Native American ties decided that they were all going to dress up with war bonnets and dance around TikTok. Thank God for Modern Warrior, who came after their ass and every damn body else until his fall from grace. Now, I do still listen to Modern Warrior when I can find him on Instagram or TikTok because he recently started resurging on TikTok. Shout out to Modern Warrior. Thank you, Lance. So, the second Pretendian War happened after COVID, and this is now a group of black people who are now ninth ether beings, Hebrew Israelites, Moors. They had dragons, griffins, dinosaurs, pterodactyls, giants. They got telepathic powers. They got telekinetic powers. They can shoot eye beams and fire, and somehow they're all on TikTok saying that there was a magically delicious tribe of Negroes who were here before 1492 and saying that black people are indigenous to America. So let me explain. They have this fella named Dan Calloway. They also have Ice Cube and a few other insane in the membrane motherfuckers that are pushing this shit. Now, the reason why they're doing this is because a certain group have been approaching Congress about reparations for black people. I am triracial, I am part native, I am part black, I am part white. One more time, I am part black, I am part white, I am part native. One more time, I am part white, I am part black, I am part native. And in doing that, as you read the fucking bio, then you'll understand, as long as I've been on this channel, I have never not one time said that I'm a full-blooded Native American. I don't disavow the fact that I also have part black and part white in me. But these people who are phenotypically black, may or may not have Native ancestry, are saying that they are from the magically delicious tribe of black people who were here before 1492. They don't know their language. They said English is the only language that they know and that it is their tribal language. They also don't seem to understand that Native Americans before 1492 never heard of God as the way you know him, as in the Son, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and all that shit. They've never fucking heard of a Bible until they were forced to go to residential schools. All right? The Bible, Sam, Ham, Wham, Bam, thank you, ma'am, the son of Sham, or whatever, that shit had nothing to do with natives. However, this new individuals of pretendians who happen to be black believe that they are ninth ether beings. Ether is very flammable. You cannot have cigarettes and shit around ether because you might die. Um, they also think that they can fly. They also think that they're gods. And I'm still waiting for them to actually show up in my backyard because I put out a challenge like 4 years ago when all this shit broke down. And no one's Thanos snapped and showed up at the house yet. So there's that. And they're popping in and out, and they're all over TikTok, and they got some dude with styrofoam cup and doing some shit like this. And we all know that if you do this enough, you will feel the wind, and it will move the styrofoam cup. Okay, makes sense? Please tell me it makes sense. Anyway, after you go through all that bullshit, somehow or another, they said that they had giants and dinosaurs and griffins and dragons. But yet they got their asses kicked by the modern day Native Americans that they are calling Siberians. And they are insulting Inuit and calling them Eskimos and stuff like that. And they're just going all over the place. So if you have social media, then you know where I am. I hope this thing's still recording. Anyway, if you have social media, then you know where I am. And it's all over social media. Now, as far as I know for YouTube, the only person that's doing anything here is Dan Calloway. And they're using people like Ivan Van Sertima and Walter Plecker. I have no idea who those people are. I think Ivan Van Sertima is dead. I know Walter Plecker's damn sure dead. I am from Charlottesville, Virginia. As an uptake of the last 3 months, or the last 3 weeks rather, I totally called this on TikTok, and it has been happening since I called it. Proof, or the second bit of proof, that a pretendian is watching my videos on TikTok. in those videos, I happen to say there's going to be a surge of magically delicious motherfuckers that are coming from Virginia, but have never been to Virginia a day in their life. All of a sudden, their genealogy is going to lead them to Virginia, which is also why I started my gatekeeping campaign for natives on TikTok and on social media in general. That if you are native, if you hail from a native tribe, if you are Afro-Indigenous, if you are mixed native of any kind, and your ancestors have given you any fucking stories, don't put it on TikTok. Don't put it on Instagram. Don't put it on social media. I can't do anything about the group that does Cherokee Word of the Day, and I don't want them to take that shit off. But at that same time, you got these pretendians who may or may not have native lineage, because no one's saying that they didn't have native lineage. They're just combating the fact that these people believe that there was a black tribe of black people who are native to America and it was here before 1492. Again, you can thank the rapper Ice Cube, who's never played a Native American a day in his goddamn life. He played a gangster. He played a college student. He played a gangster disciple on Mars. And he played a guy getting revenge in Africa for his African brother. And now all of a sudden, he's an American Indian. Now, I understand so people don't get this incorrectly. American Indian and Native American are the same thing. Black people are not the American Indians, and today's natives are not the Native Americans. Native Americans of today are also the American Indians. All right? So just make sure we have that all down packed. Now, you got Ice Cube and whatever show he's on talking all this crap about black people being the real American Indians. And the problem with that is really quite simple. Like me, you're an actor, but you actually have a career where I don't, so no one gives a shit what I say. But if I had a career, you and I would be butting heads. And I will no longer be listening to your music or watching your fucking movies because you're full of fucking shit. The fact of the matter is that you have never done any damn thing native in your entire career. Not in NWA, not in your solo career, which Let's Get Ready to Rumble for Street Fighter is like my favorite song. So I have to hate that song now. I will not listen to it anymore because of my disdain for what Ice Cube has done. I'm a mixed person. I am part black, I am part white, I am part native. I'm 51 years old. He's older than me and he fucking knows better. Alright? He played James Desolation Williams on Ghost of Mars, a black man. He played in Boys in the Hood with this popping up car, a black man. He played in Triple X Part 2 with the pop-up car, a black man. He played an African exchange student getting revenge for someone killing his family member in the movie Deadly Grounds, a black man. He has never played a Native American character in his life. He has never done anything publicly for Native Americans before that interview on whoever the hell show it was, where he said, you left off the Native Americans. He said, black people are the original Native Americans. And that's where we have a fucking problem. Other than that, I have no problem with him. Other than that shit and the fact that he's a fucking Trump supporter. So other than that, no. I was fine with him before this whole Native American bullshit happened. Once the Native American bullshit happened, like, nah, dude, nah, you can't have that. You can't do that. Especially since you've never publicly done anything for natives. I don't know about privately, but you've never played a Native American on TV, in the movies, none of that shit. So I'm well within my rights to be a little bit angry. So now we got that guy and fucking Dan Calloway, and they're using Virginia's Reclassification Act with Walter Plecker, which they don't seem to understand it. It was to keep people who are mulatto or white passing out of the white communities. All right. It's also what would lead to later Loving versus Virginia, with the white man in love with the black lady. Okay? If you're not from Virginia, don't be using Virginia. I'm sorry. I'm from Virginia. I live in Virginia. I would have never have stayed in Virginia if a certain movie company named Millennium Studios would have honored their word with Hollywood East. Now you guys know why I've been failing for 20 something years, because they wouldn't fucking give me a job because I wasn't a SAG actor. Still not a SAG actor. Can't afford it. Anyway, moving on. The Pretendians have gone to the max to prove that there is a tribe of magically delicious black people who were here before 1492. And we will fight them tooth and nail because I'm triracial. I'm not Afro-Indigenous. I can't claim Afro-Indigenous because my parents were mixed. My grandfather on my dad's side was black. My grandmother on my mom's side is mixed Native and black. Her husband was either a quadroon or an octoroon because he was part black, but he was very white passing, i.e. Walter Plecker. Now, on my dad's side, his mom is either part Native and black or all Native. Her mom was all Native. You understand why I can't claim Afro-Indigenous. Right? Give or take, tripping over my words. But I grew up knowing that I was mixed. Without a shadow of a doubt, I didn't get to be with my great-grandmother except for in the summertime, and she died in '83 when I was 10. All right? Her daughter and her. My great-grandmother, we played with those refrigerator magnet things that look like fruit all the time. And she told me stories, which I chalked up as the bedtime stories and folklore. Her daughter force-fed me corn and pancakes with K-roll syrup. I like K-roll syrup, but I don't like pancakes with corn in them. I avoided going to grandma's house for breakfast. My mom's mom, a little bit different, half Native, half black, and adopted. So we are where we are. Her story is very interesting, and I don't think I should share that. But if she passes, or before she passes, I would like to get the whole story from her and her siblings versus my flair for it. My grandmother's husband, again, he died when I was 6. He was very white passing. So, there's that. I know my family has black, white, and Native. But I also know that I am not Native. I am mixed with Native, but I am not Native. I'll play one on TV, as I just did in these videos before this video. But the Pretendians are going to the extreme. And they started using Pamunkey, Chickahominy. Everybody uses Cherokee. And they're using Rappahannock or Tappahannock. But they're using a lot more tribes out of Virginia that are state and federally recognized, even though they ain't never been to Virginia. Alright? And I can't for sure say they can't trace their genealogy back to Virginia, but your genealogy going back to Virginia is either going to be the slavery or the Indian Removal Act. And 9 times out of 10, if you phenotypically look blacker than me, it's going to come back to a slave versus a native. Alright? But I'm not going to say that they don't have native ancestry, because maybe they do. But they don't come from the magically delicious Negro tribe that was here before 1492. And that's the bullshit that Ice Cube and Dan Calloway is presenting to these people. And they're teaching it to children. And Halloween's right around the corner. So you kind of want to not dress up as Native Americans at the end of this month. Please don't do that. But that's just me beating a dead horse. That shit's gonna happen. But just take into consideration what natives have gone through before you decide to put your kid in a Pocahontas outfit. No. And there's been some other stuff that we won't talk about today, but just be forewarned, have some empathy, and if you're a Pretendian, that's for you. That one too. Because here's the thing. If you are a Pretendian and you do have Native ancestry as well as black ancestry as well as white ancestry, reconnect the way I was starting to reconnect before y'all popped up on the scene with your ninth ether being self. Making it more difficult for people who are Afro-Indigenous or triracial to reconnect with the tribes in which we are connected to because of you. That being said, I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. I can go on for days about this shit. It's only going to make me angry, so I'm not going to do that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I love all of you, and I greatly appreciate you giving me the chance to be into your life. Thank you very much. Be seeing you.